Hi, I'm Daniela Brew. I'm from Connecticut, and I have an older sister that I'm really close with. I really enjoy any sort of art, so like painting, crafting, and I really like baking and hiking in the outdoors, and I also play the piano. My major is NBB, and I'm really interested in any sort of psych, anatomy sort of thing, and I'm also EMT trained. On main campus, I'm really involved with my sorority, which is Kappa Kappa Gamma, yay. And at Oxford, I'm really involved with SAPA, Outdoor Oxford, and Best Buddies. I really connect with the Oxford principle of belonging. Having a sense of community is one of the really important things for me, which means celebrating unique identities while also just creating like a larger picture that values each part of everyone in it. And so, an example of this is that I really love celebrating my Latin culture and finding people that I connect with that and really like facilitating discussions about that. But I also really appreciate how Oxford has so many different cultures that I can learn about and experience and just really grow with. And I think belonging also reminds every first year that they all bring something valuable to the table, and that value has a place at Oxford, especially for orientation. I just want people to feel like they belong, and yeah, definitely. And in a group setting, I'd say I'm pretty outgoing, so I'm normally the one kind of telling jokes or telling stories, but I also know that with that kind of more outgoing role, there's also a sense of responsibility, of just being thoughtful about everyone else in the conversation. And so I really like to make space for people and ask them questions about themselves. And if there's new people, introduce myself, or just like holding yourself responsible for noticing if people like aren't really feeling up for it or feeling themselves, and kind of being able to take a step back from that bigger group setting. So a conflict that I have been through is my junior year. A group of three girls on the girls cross country team, were really involved with the team, and we did all the senior planning. We were really involved with planning anything, and just a really positive like teammate. And we were all kind of going for the role of captain, but when senior year came around, only two of us got it, me and my friend included. And so the third girl, she was feeling very left out in that, and she did definitely deserve the role to be like involved and belong as like a sort of senior leader. And so we made to include her in any merge planning, team warm-ups, captain's practices, and any big decisions, just so she knew that she was valued as a team member. I understand that things always go wrong last minute, and I'd say I have a pretty good sense of urgency. I think the first step to that is just to break things down and write a list. What are the things that have to get done, and kind of divide and conquer. Everything seems like a mountain when when it's all piled onto each other. So just kind of dividing that up, taking a second, and just attacking it one step at a time is really the only way to do it. And also just remembering that like the only way to get things done is to get things done, and like having a negative attitude or arguing about it or like pushing stress on other people, especially in a crunch time, is really just not going to help anything move smoothly. So I'd say a strength of mine is that I'm always kind of trying to better myself. And so I know I'm not perfect, and that's okay, but it's also not okay to kind of like become stagnant and like feel okay with not growing at all. And one example of that is this semester I'm taking Learning to Lead. And so I'd consider myself a pretty good leader already, but just by taking this class and hearing different people's perspectives, I've already learned a bunch of new things and a bunch of new like ways to approach difficult situations or just leadership in general. And I think this will definitely help approach my OL group more as friends and not like expecting myself to be some sort of perfect second year, and just realizing that like we're all in this together and we can view each other as peers, definitely. So as an OL, I think it's pretty easy for people to become shy or just not feel comfortable with approaching like a new group of people in a completely new setting. For some people across the country, some people across the globe, it's like a really intimidating experience. So in order to make people feel a little more comfortable, I think I would probably start with just having more one-on-one conversations, because it's a lot easier for people to approach one new person than a whole group thing, and then sort of moving it into a group setting. And I also think in a personal way, just creating and fostering relationships with each of the members of my L groups, and just recognizing that they're all different people who bring different things to the table and also have different needs. And once that sort of like one-on-one comfort level is set, then we can move on to group things. And also just creating like fun and different ideas, because it's so hard to kind of meet new people when all the same icebreakers are being used. So creating new ideas and facilitating one-on-one interactions. And then I'd say the measure of success for an OL group would probably just to be like the connections made along the way. I think going into college is like first year is so isolating, and it can definitely be a scary and lonely time. And so I just really want like my OL group and like all of the first years to feel comfortable and like they have a place at Oxford and they have someone to go to if they need it, and I just want them to like feel like they're wanted. And so for me, I honestly still talk to my OL leader, and one of my best friends is actually from my OL group, and I know that won't be everyone's experience, but just any OL member, any OL group member, just having some sort of connection moving out of orientation and some friendly face around campus, and just a few people that they know they can go to with any questions or any rough times, or just like any concerns, is a real measure of success, definitely. So thank you all.